Feelings do not begin with I love you. They do not begin with dramatic confessions. They do not begin with obvious declarations. They begin quietly, subtly, almost invisibly. And if you are not paying attention, you will miss the moment when indifference turns into attachment. Because when a woman develops feelings for you, she does not announce it. She reveals it in patterns, in tone, in small phrases that sound casual but carry emotional weight. There are three words she says when feelings begin to grow. Not the words you expect, not the words you see in movies, but words that signal something deeper is happening inside her. And once you understand them, you will never hear them the same way again. The first three words are this: I told you. Now, on the surface, that sounds playful, even teasing, but psychologically, it reveals investment. When she says, I told you after you take her advice, or when something she predicted happens, she is not just pointing out she was right. She is showing that she has been paying attention to you. She remembers what she said. She tracks your outcomes. She feels connected to your decisions. Tracking someone's life requires emotional involvement. Indifference does not track. Feelings track. When she says, I told you with a soft smile, what she really means is, I care about what happens to you. She feels included in your world, and inclusion is the seed of attachment. Now listen closely. The tone matters. If it is playful and warm, it signals bonding. It means she feels comfortable enough to tease you gently. Teasing is intimacy disguised as humor. When a woman teases you, she is testing closeness. She is seeing how you respond to light vulnerability. If you respond confidently, calmly, smiling slightly, you reinforce attraction. If you become defensive, you break the emotional rhythm. Feelings need safety to grow. So when she says, I told you, do not argue. Smile, acknowledge, lean into the moment, because behind those words is connection. The second three words are even more powerful. Be careful, please. Most men think this is just concern. It is not just concern. It is attachment forming. When she tells you to be careful, especially about something small, she is revealing that your well-being affects her emotionally. If she did not care, she would not think about your safety. If she did not feel something growing, she would not feel protective. Protection signals emotional investment, and emotional investment signals feelings. When she says, be careful, please, she is imagining scenarios where you could get hurt. Imagination of your absence creates anxiety. Anxiety reveals attachment. Attachment reveals growing affection. This is not dramatic. It is subtle. It might be after you mention driving late at night, after you mention a stressful meeting, after you mention traveling somewhere unfamiliar. She pauses slightly and says, be careful, please. That pause carries emotion. That softness carries depth. It means you matter enough to enter her worry space. And worry space is reserved for people who are important. Now let us go deeper. When a woman develops feelings, her language shifts from self-centered to inclusive, which brings us to the third three words, we should go. Or sometimes it sounds like we should try. That single word, we, is powerful because it signals future projection. When she starts using we in casual conversation, she is subconsciously including you in her mental future. She is not just living moment to moment. She is imagining shared experiences. Shared experiences create bonding. Bonding creates longing. Longing creates love. If she says we should watch that movie sometime, she is picturing sitting next to you. If she says we should visit that place, she is imagining a shared memory before it even exists. Future inclusion is a sign of emotional expansion. She is expanding her life to include you. That does not happen without feelings. Indifference does not plan. Interest plans lightly. Feelings plan repeatedly. Now here is what you must understand. These three phrases do not appear all at once. They appear gradually as feelings build. And if you respond correctly, those feelings deepen. If you ignore them, they fade. So how do you respond? When she says, I told you, smile calmly. Maintain eye contact. Say something like, maybe I should listen to you more often. That response builds polarity. It keeps the playfulness alive without giving away your strength. When she says, be careful, please, do not dismiss it casually. Pause, look at her, and say, I will. Let her feel that her concern matters. Validation strengthens attachment. When she uses we, embrace it subtly. Do not overreact, just continue the vision. If she says we should try that restaurant, respond with something like, we will find the perfect night for it. You are reinforcing shared future without rushing. Now, let me tell you something deeper. When feelings grow, her body language will align with her words. She will lean slightly closer when speaking. Her tone will soften. Her laughter will linger. She will remember details you mentioned days ago. Memory strengthens around emotional charge. If she remembers your preferences, your fears, your goals, she is emotionally invested. Investment creates mental repetition. Mental repetition keeps you in her thoughts. And this is where most men make a mistake. They get excited too quickly. They push for labels. They push for clarity. They rush the process. But feelings are like fire. If you blow on them too aggressively, they extinguish. If you protect them gently, they grow. So when you notice these three words appearing more frequently, slow down. Stay grounded. Do not chase. Do not pressure. Lead calmly, because the strongest attraction builds in safety and tension combined. Safety allows vulnerability. Tension keeps desire alive. When she feels safe expressing concern, teasing playfully, and including you in her future, she is already emotionally shifting. Your job is to maintain emotional stability. Do not become overly emotional. Do not become overly distant. Balance is power. And here is the truth most men do not hear. When a woman develops feelings, she becomes slightly more sensitive to your responses. If you pull back suddenly, she feels it. If you become colder, she questions it. If you stay steady, she relaxes deeper into attachment. Consistency builds trust. Trust builds emotional security. Emotional security allows love to form. But remember this, you cannot force these words. You cannot demand them. You cannot ask, do you care about me? Because true feelings reveal themselves in behavior and language naturally. If she is not saying these words, do not panic. Focus on building emotional connection. Ask thoughtful questions. Listen deeply. Share selectively. Let her see your depth without overwhelming her. Because feelings grow in spaces where both people feel valued. Now imagine this. She says, I told you, with a playful smile. She says, be careful, please, with a soft tone. She says we should try that sometime without hesitation. That is not random. That is attachment forming. And if you handle it correctly, attachment becomes affection. Affection becomes longing. Longing becomes love. But it requires emotional maturity. It requires patience. It requires understanding that attraction is not a performance. It is an exchange of emotional energy. So pay attention to the small phrases, because small phrases reveal big shifts. And once you learn to hear them, you will realize something powerful. Feelings do not arrive with fireworks. They arrive with softness, with subtlety, with three simple words that carry weight far beyond their size. And if you respond with calm confidence, those words will appear more often, until one day they are replaced by something even deeper. But by then, you will already know, because you learned to listen